93, so I didn't see him in obviously much other than film. But he was my father's favorite player, and my father thought he was the best player ever. So that was like, he was seared into my conscience. I had like a little Willie Mays baseball card that, is all in tatters now after we used to play baseball with it. But I'll just remember him as that. And in studying him and even talking to my dad about him, the thing about Willie Mays, I mean, he did everything. He was a Gold Glove center fielder. He hit with power. He had 2 years of 50 or more home runs. Hit for average, hit over 300 for his career. Led the league in stolen bases 4 or 5 years. I mean, he did every single thing at the ultimate high level. And so I'll remember him as arguably the greatest baseball player ever. And remember, he played a lot in Candlestick, which is a hard to hit home runs, and he still ended up with 660. And he may have hit 700 or more if he
also lost almost 2 full seasons fighting in a war, and the season when he came back, he hit 41 home runs, and he still finished with 660. I think the case for Willie Mays as the greatest baseball player of all time is the cleanest case you can make for any player. Sorry, I actually
think that's
something
fair.
in my eye. As far if you like the WAR stat, he's third all time for position players behind Ruth and Bonds. There's obviously weird cloud with Bonds. You add to it, no outfielder has more Gold Gloves than Willie Mays. Only Roberto Clemente has as many. I mentioned that. He had a season plus of, the beginning of his prime taken from him. Brew, you mentioned the baseball card. I tweeted it out today. The only real piece of non-Royals baseball memorabilia I have, and I've had it since I was 8, is a picture of the catch with a box that has a signed, not the baseball from it, but a signed Willie Mays baseball. And when people hear these things, he was great for 20 consecutive seasons. Right. So we can show you his numbers as a 20-year-old, his numbers as a 30-year-old, in his 30s, I should say, and then read that bottom line. At 40, led the NL in walks and on-base percentage, and that was the only time he struck out. The only year of his career he struck out more than 100 times. He led the league in walks that year. And so I think he is, when you combine offense, defense, and the fact that there is no, but it wasn't an integrated league. Well, but it was the steroid era. And so there's no qualifier on Willie Mays. And as a sports fan, Walton West and Willie in 2 weeks is really, really unbelievable and hard to deal with.
But you know what? And 93 and you died peacefully.
Yeah. There's one thing I wanted to add, because there's so many statistics that just are mind-blowing. And the great thing about baseball is that's harder to do in basketball and football. It's like, well, different era with that. Could Fran Tarkenton play today? And you're not quite sure. But Willie Mays could step in today and play. But like you were saying that your dad was your dad's favorite player, there was something special and magical about the way he played with such charisma and showmanship. And I thought this quote was interesting. It's a quote he gave to NPR in 2010. "I made the clubhouse guy fit me with a cap that when I ran, it flies right off." He made it extra small. You also have to tilt your head a little bit because you got to get the wind in there. People love that type of stuff, So he was selling sort of the sizzle with the steak and making baseball fun to watch and bringing his whole personality there. And that's what made him say, "Hey, kid."
And you said it 2 weeks ago when we were talking about, but I think it warrants mentioning. When you look at Willie Mays' stats today, there's 8 more hits than there was 2 weeks ago because he played in the Negro Leagues. And, you know what I mean? That is our living, I apologize for that turn of phrase. It is our living history, even though Willie is passed, and it's an important part of it, and it's unbelievable. That was a great story.
Willie Mays was 93. We'll be right back.
Comes Wemby. How soon? How soon?
Oh, not
That's it. How
not
soon?
soon enough to
How
win
soon?
through.
Yeah. Yeah.
hold
How
on.
soon?
Hold
The
on.
Celtics, can I say?
I didn't say it's next year. I said how
as many
soon?
games in the playoffs as Wemby did
Okay.
the whole year.
Dusty, lock this take up by Wild.
That's just
lock
facts.
up the
They won 22
anger.
games, and the Celtics won 60.
I'm
Drew,
just
can
saying, watch
Listen,
out.
can I ask you a real quick question?
I told y'all he was going to be great, and I'm not saying
That
I was
wasn't
in
a
France
hot
scouting
take.
him.
Yeah, I mean-
no, but y'all disagree. Nick went off on me when I said.
didn't.
No.
What I say he's
no
going to
one
be.
disagreed.
20
Hold on.
No,
hold
Nick
on,
did.
Brew, wait a moment. No, I did not. I did
thought I
not
went a
have
bridge
the
too
take.
far?
I did not. Yes, I said I think you were going too far.
But I didn't.
When you said if he's Akeem Olajuwon, he's a disappointment. That's what I said was too
Okay,
far.
is that true now?
No, that will never be true. There is no basketball world
Say,
where
it's true.
That's true. That's now true.
It's true,
It's
Nick.
now true that if, hold on, just real quick. It's now true that if Wemby's career, when it's over, we're like he was
He had 2
a
rings.
touch better than Shaq, but not quite as good as Kobe. We're going to be like, what a failure.
I don't. Well,
Not a failure, but it would be a disappointment.
Okay,
yes.
all right, can we stay on
This
the Celtics
dude
for a
has
second?
no potential.
All
So, yeah, so Wemby's coming. That's another thing.
But if he is, I don't think even you
Yeah.
think he's going to be on a championship caliber team in the next 2 years.
Well, that's up to the Spurs to build around. But 2 years is quick.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm saying. And the Celtics,
Maybe
we're talking
2
about
years
right
from
now.
now.
We're not talking about 7 years. from now.
But they're young. That's the thing. They are young.
Except for Drew and Al, absolutely. So
but the core, to me, the core is Tatum and Brown.
So here's the other piece of it. Do you want to go, Wilds? I'm sorry.
No, I mean I have.
Go.
Here's the thing. Last 25 seasons, I'm going to skip over what the champions did because we had a few full screens. Top 2 in offense and defensive rating in the last 25 years. So you would think, all right, they are set up. If they're, as I coined, defense wins championships, and they had the number 1 offense, I think, in league history this year.
Yeah.
But then remember, the Pacers had the second best offense.
I know, but it's just kind of so that was
Most of the teams
era-dependent.
in the top 10 played this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
It's,
So they're
it's just
number
the
one.
3-point
Yeah.
line.
Number one.
And
That's
then
what
it
it
should
is.
give them more
And
credit for the
analytics
defense
and
of
all
how
that.
great the defense is this year. So here's the other question, and this is just a weird one. Are the Celtics just playing differently than everyone else?
So that's a legitimate.
Games with over 43 points attempts this season. The Celtics are 9, and the rest of the NBA is 8.
This playoffs.
And they're
I
built
was about to
for.
say, because they averaged them.
No,
sorry.
this play.
Yeah.
So, and the Celtics are built with I got an idea. Rather than have 1 3-and-D guy or maybe 2 3-and-D guys, why don't we have 7
Yeah,
3-and-D
maybe.
guys?
So, but that
And
part.
who's competing with that?
Well, the thing is, the whole league's in short order. Not as far as the personnel, but stylistically.
Yeah.
Like that will. So that
It's a
part.
copycat league.
That part can be caught up to a degree. I think you make fair points, but I also the reason I want to pump the brakes so hard on Dynasty is I think the last team to win back-to-back and not have a moment during their second run where they were massive underdogs to win the championship, massive Vegas on-the-record underdogs, were the 0-1 Lakers. You go
Wait, so what is
let
it?
me explain to you what I'm saying. We'll just go in reverse order. The 2018 Warriors were down 3-2 with a Game 7 coming on the road, down 17 points in Game 7 on the road, overcame it to win their championship. The 2013 Heat, was it 14? Whatever. The 2013 Heat, they're down 5 with 30 seconds left in Game 6 against the Spurs. The 2010 Lakers are down, what were they down? 14 in the fourth quarter of the Game 7 of the finals and overcame it. The last team to just be like, we're the defending champs and we're going to roll through everyone was the second Shaq Kobe title. 0-1 Lakers, that they rolled through every series, they rolled through everyone. Point I'm making is, even the greatest teams we've seen in the last 25 years with the greatest players, their path to their second title, there was a moment where it was like, oh, they're cooked, and they overcame it. So you not only have to be an all-time great team, you also have to overcome what Giannis and the Bucks couldn't, when the Nuggets couldn't this year.
Yeah.
And so it's so hard. I know because there have been a lot of them. It doesn't seem like it.
I like
but
mini dynasty.
And
a little better.
presumably the road, at least in the Eastern Conference Finals,
Will
is
not-
going to be tougher.
Right.
Because
Will not be
if
tattered
teams are
with injury.
healthy, And that's what we all hope for. It's going to be tough.
Yep.
We're going to end on a sad note for the A block.
You've been doing this a lot lately.
Baseball lost a legend yesterday when Willie Mays died at the age of 93, two-time MVP, 24-time All-Star, widely regarded as one of, if not the best baseball player of all time. Brew, how will you remember Willie Mays?
Well, I was 5 years old when he